Have you heard of the term triglycerides? The name sounds awkward and scary, but actually, it is a kind of fat in our blood. You can think of it as oil droplets floating in the blood. Don't look at these little oil droplets that are usually silent. They're a key driver of cardiovascular health. Prime 1. Let's have a light chat today. What are triglycerides? Why does it affect your health? What are some bad habits that will make him sore? And here's the thing. The latest research has found that the magic way to lower triglycerides. The scientist has found his natural enemy. As long as you insist on eating a certain food once a day, getting your triglycerides up is actually a really hard sell. I want the blood vessels to be unobstructed and not blocked. Live to be 100 years old and stay away from the 3 highs. Heart attack? Cerebral infarction? Then let's watch it together. So let's start with this. Let's meet the man in the blood. Grease, brother. It's called triglycerides. Basically, triglycerides are also called triglycerides. It's the fat in the blood. When we eat more food than our bodies need, remaining heat, it is converted into triglycerides by the liver. They're stored in fat cells, become a backup energy for the future, the next time we don't eat enough or need energy. The body replaces these stored triglycerides, let it out, fuel for muscles and organs. So, acid glycerides are actually good people. It's a way for the body to store energy. It's like a bank deposit, so we don't run out of energy when we're starving. But it's too much. Triglycerides. Although it is a normal and necessary substance, but if there are too many of these little oil droplets in the blood, something's going to go wrong. Imagine that. Blood should flow smoothly in the blood vessels. The result is too low fat. It's good that the blood becomes sticky. Then a water pipe full of oil. Flow slows down over time. Excessive triglycerides. Involved in the formation of atherosclerosis. Plaque forms on the walls of blood vessels. Over time, blood vessels can narrow. Blockages increase the risk of heart disease and stroke, especially when triglycerides, to an outrageous degree, may also cause pancreatic inflammation, acute pancreatitis. This is a dangerous emergency. So proper acid glycerides are good things. But too high in acid glycerides, it becomes a risk factor. Generally speaking, triglycerides in healthy adults. It should be below about 150 mg/dL. That's about 150 milligrams per deciliter of blood. If it is higher than this level, that's considered too high. If it exceeds 200 mg/dL, it's high in triglycerides. More than 500 mg/dL, that's very dangerous. May cause serious problems such as pancreatic inflammation at any time. Once the triglyceride is exceeded, this is often accompanied by elevated bad cholesterol, good cholesterol reduction, overall lipid imbalance. Many studies have found that people with high acid glycerides more susceptible to coronary heart disease, cardiovascular problems such as myocardial infarction. In addition, excessive triglycerides often do not appear alone. It's often accompanied by blood pressure, blood sugar problem. Many people with high triglycerides, they're also hypertensive and diabetic, also known as the 3 highs. Once you fall into the triple high state, all organs of the body bear a greater burden. Cardiovascular damage, kidney involvement. It even increases the risk of loss of treatment. Therefore, it is necessary to remove triglycerides as soon as possible. Control within the normal range. Don't give cardiovascular disease any opportunity. So we can't underestimate these oil droplets. Regular blood tests. It is very important to pay attention to your triacid levels. Maybe you think triglycerides are too high, far from themselves, but actually, the person who is accidentally recruited is by your side and me. Like what? My neighbor Uncle Jong is a living example. I usually like to eat big fish and meat. Not much exercise. He went for a checkup a while ago. It turns out that triglycerides, soaring to 3 times the normal online. The doctor sternly warned him to lose control. The blood vessels are about to block. Uncle Jong panicked. From that day on, he learned from the pain, quit milk tea and fried chicken chops. Every day there is an extra plate of hot vegetables on the table. The staple was replaced with brown rice, and he really has perseverance. I started walking for half an hour every evening. Blood test in 3 months. Triglycerides. He was taken abruptly from a dangerous level. Back in the normal range, the doctor complimented him that the prodigal son will never be redeemed. See, changing lifestyle habits is so useful. Since triglycerides are too high and so dangerous, then we have to figure out what are the reasons for his ascent. Speaking of which, many people's first reaction may be to eat too much fat. Fat people are high in triglycerides. Actually, thin people may also experience high blood lipids behind the rise in triglycerides. It involves every aspect of our daily lives. Here are some common suspects. Excessive sugar and refined carbohydrates in the diet. That's right, compared to fat. Lots of sugar and rice. Delicate starches such as white noodles. It's easier to get your triglyceride levels up when we eat a lot of sweets, sugary drinks, or lots of white rice. When delicate carbohydrates such as bread and cakes, the body can't use up the sugar at once. It will be converted into triglycerides and stored up. Especially high fructose syrup, sugary drinks. The effect on triglycerides is even more pronounced. So the canteen family, those who eat a lot should be careful. You may be unaware of it. Turn blood into sweet oil. Really? If you drink bubble tea cake as water every day? I'm afraid the blood will have to fill out the ants. Excessive intake of unhealthy fats. In the diet, if you often have big fish and big meat, fried food, fatty cream, these things high in saturated fat and trans fat, it also increases triglycerides. Because these bad fats add to the burden on the liver. It prompts the liver to make more triglycerides and the bad cholesterol that transports fat, and the result is an overall increase in lipids. So friends who like a heavy oil and heavy stomach diet, you have to pay attention to your blood lipid test report. Drinking too much. Those who like to drink 2 drinks, pay attention. Alcohol also makes triglycerides, a major driver of elevation. After drinking, the liver is busy metabolizing alcohol. It makes more triglycerides. At the same time, alcohol itself is high in calories. Sugary alcoholic beverages make matters worse. Drink often, especially those who are addicted to alcohol. There may be more oil in the blood than in alcohol. In the long run, triglycerides are easy to exceed the standard fatty liver. The risk of pancreatic inflammation also increases. No wonder people who often drink alcohol, it's easy to have a big beer belly. Isn't that belly piled up from fat? Lack of exercise. Eat a lot less calories. Frozen too little. It also generates excess calories, converted into triglycerides and stored. Modern sedentary office. Lack of exercise. It can easily lead to excessive fat synthesis in the body. If you are too lazy to move, triglycerides are not lazy. Still trying to store fat. Over time, not only do people gain weight easily, triglycerides and cholesterol in the blood will also rise. Some people joke about lying still every day. Fat will grow secretly. That's not true. The more you stay on the sofa, the more the body accumulates fat, and triglycerides of course go up with it. The higher the overweight or obese weight, usually means more body fat accumulation, also often accompanied by high triglycerides. Obese people, especially abdominal obesity, also known as a beer belly. People with big bellies, visceral fat. The ability of the liver to synthesize triglycerides, they were very strong. This group of people often experience high blood lipids at the same time. Hyperglycemia, hypertension. It's called metabolic syndrome or triple highs. Don't look at fat people. The surface is round and cute. Their veins don't have to be cute. It may already be surrounded by fat. Genetic and disease factors. Some people are naturally fat hoarders. There is hyperlipidemia in the family. Genetic predisposition to high acid glycerides, even at a young age. Normal diet. It could be high triglycerides. Also like diabetics. Due to abnormal insulin metabolism, also prone to problems with elevated triglycerides. Some drugs, such as steroids or certain disease states. It also interferes with fat metabolism. So if you pay attention to your diet, still high in triglycerides, it is necessary to suspect whether it is a genetic or physical condition. Need medical consultation. In general, the main culprit that makes triglycerides soar, or our living habits. Eating too much and moving too little. Love to eat sweet, love to eat oil, and love to drink. And here they are. It's hard to think about triglycerides. Instead, if we can change these habits. Eat a balanced and light diet. Multi-activity. Usually triglycerides are not too naughty. Saying so much. Is there any coup? Can it effectively reduce triglycerides? Of course there is. The latest scientific research brought us good news. Researchers have discovered a way to eat regularly every day. The magic weapon that can significantly reduce triglycerides. It's the enemy of triglycerides. This magic weapon is not some mystery pill. It's a common food. Ingredient-resistant starch sounds a bit unfamiliar from the name. In fact, resistant starch, widely found in some daily staple foods, like brown rice, oatmeal sweet potato, corn and beans, even slightly raw bananas, are rich in resistant starch. So what's so great about it? Original resistant starch. It is not easily digested by the human body. Absorbed starch, general delicate starch like white rice flour. In the stomach, it is quickly broken down into glucose and absorbed, and resistant starch is much tougher. It doesn't get digested in the small intestine. It goes directly into the large intestine. It's kind of like dietary fiber. It is worth mentioning that some foods are specially processed. It also increases resistance, such as cooked potatoes or white rice. Let it cool before eating. Resistant starch. It will be more than when it was hot just out of the pot. No wonder some people joke that overnight meals are healthier. We're not encouraging overnight meals, of course. Just doing this provides a little resistant starch. Helps control blood lipids. Because it's hard to digest. Resistant starch has two major benefits. First, it doesn't spike blood sugar or insulin. We just mentioned eating too much sugar and delicate starches will cause blood sugar to rise, which in turn converts to triglycerides. Resistant starch does the opposite. He hardly ever turns blood sugar. Therefore, the chance of sugar being converted into fat is greatly reduced. Second, when it is broken down in the large intestine by good intestinal bacteria, produces beneficial short URL fatty acids. These substances help improve insulin sensitivity. Reduce the amount of triglycerides the liver makes. Simple understanding. Resistant starch is like the triglyceride nemesis. Let your body can't make that many triglycerides. The concentration in the natural blood drops. There are studies that show quite surprising results. Just put the daily white staple food. Replace with coarse grains rich in resistant starch. Hold on for a few months. You can lower your triglyceride levels, reduced by nearly 40%. Yes, you read that right, 40%. It's almost the equivalent of very high glycerol. The three-finger patient can only achieve surrender by taking medicine. And here's the thing. It's a total diet modification. No medication required, no side effects. Dietary fiber is also supplemented, by the way. It's also good for gut health. You can kill multiple birds with one stone. Scientists and the research team. I'm surprised by that result. Many people participated in the experiment. Triglycerides plummet. Some people even drop from dangerous levels back to normal. There is an uncle who participated in the experiment. Originally, the high three-finger glycerin index was scary. As a result, it persisted for a few months. Replace refined white rice noodles with brown rice beans. His lab reports actually dropped by nearly half. Even the doctor couldn't believe it. Imagine that. You used to eat a bowl of white rice every day. Triglycerides are popping up. Now switch to a bowl of oatmeal or brown rice. Business as usual. But the blood lipids are rubbing down. It's hard to raise triglycerides. No wonder resistant starch is his natural enemy. Scientists have discovered this. Let's find a way to deal with hyperlipidemia. The device knows that resistant starch is so amazing. How can we use him in our lives? Against stubborn acid glycerides? The solution is very simple. As long as you have at least one meal a day, with foods rich in resistant starches, just replace the delicate staple food. For example, a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. Make porridge with oatmeal and milk or soy milk, or semi-yogurt oats for a cold oatmeal. Unsweetened original oats, rich in resistant starch and soluble fiber. It's nutritious. It's filling. Have a bowl every morning. Energetic and helpful sauce. Kill two birds with one stone. Meal thickness with white rice. White noodles replaced by brown rice. Purple rice, whole wheat bread. Or mix half brown rice and half white rice when cooking. Gradually adapt to the taste of brown rice. You can also eat more whole grains, like corn millet, barley, etc., or use sweet potatoes. Taro, delicate starch for potato substitutes such as yams. These whole grains, potatoes are rich in resistant starch and fiber. Slow sugar rise and strong satiety. It fills you up without messing with your lipids. Eat more beans, various dried beans. Soy products are also good. Red beans, mung beans, lentils, chickpeas, these beans. Contains a lot of resistant starch and protein. You can cook mixed bean rice, boiled bean soup, or cook the beans and add them to the salad. Beans every day in the soup. Not only the sauce, it can also supplement plant protein and minerals. Very good for the heart. Replace the snacks with bananas, especially a slightly cayenne banana. High resistant starch content. It's a natural sauce snack. Of course, bananas also have sugar, so an appropriate amount of one a day is enough. Don't eat too much fruit. It looks like a lot of tricks. It's actually not that complicated. Take the example of a day's meal. A bowl of oatmeal and milk porridge for breakfast. Add a boiled egg. Chinese brown rice with steamed fish and blanched vegetables. Have a bowl of tofu kelp soup for dinner. The staple food is half a root of corn or sweet potato. Remember to take a walk after a meal. You can also have a cup of sugar-free soy milk before going to bed. Match it like this. Nutritionally balanced and delicious. The point is not to worry about triglycerides running around, except for resistant starch. There are also some other good eating habits. Helps keep the triglycerides down. Let's develop it together. Foods rich in European and American calcium. 3. Deep-sea fish are real blood lipid busters, like salmon, sorry herring, sardines, etc. Rich in European and American calcium. 3. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. Omega-3 has powerful anti-inflammatory effects. can reduce liver production. The rate of triglycerides also increases good cholesterol. It is recommended to eat fish at least 2 to 3 times a week, one long portion at a time. The Japanese love to eat fish. We had lower rates of cardiovascular disease. You can see the benefits of eating more fish. If it is really inconvenient to eat fish, reliable quality fish oil capsules, 1 capsule a day will do. But be careful. Fish oil is a health food, not a medicine. Patients with severe hyperlipidemia. Should I take medicine or have to take medicine? Eat more vegetables, especially high-fiber vegetables, like cauliflower, cabbage, carrot. Dark leafy vegetables, etc., are rich in dietary fiber and various vitamins. Multifiber. It can reduce the absorption of fat and sugar in the intestines. It also helps control postprandial lipid rise. At least half of every plate should be vegetables. This will not only control the heat, it can also prevent blood lipids from skyrocketing. And fungus. Mushrooms such as shiitake and kelp, seaweed are low in calories. A lot of fiber is also very suitable for regular eating. The legendary blood vessel scavenger. These foods. So, Mom told us to eat more vegetables since childhood. It makes perfect sense. Not only vitamin supplements, it can also drive away excess grease. Appropriate amount of nuts and almonds. Walnut, cashew nut. These nuts contains heart-healthy fatty acids and fiber. Eating in moderation can help lower triglycerides and cholesterol. A handful of nuts a day as a snack. Don't squeeze the kind. They were plain nuts. You can get good cardiovascular oils. But nuts are high in calories. A small handful, about a tail, is enough. Don't accidentally eat a big bag as a snack. That's too much heat. Control sugar and wine. Avoid foods high in oil and sugar. This might sound like a cliche, but it's really important. A variety of sugary drinks, pastry, dessert, and snacks made of delicate starch, like potato chips. Touch less cookies. Alcohol is also controlled as much as possible, especially sweet cocktails, beer, etc. Less liquid bread. Drink to get your blood vessels clean. Stay away from sugary alcoholic calorie bombs. Maintain a healthy weight. Exercise regularly and eat once a day to resist a starchy meal. It's just part of our fat-lowering program. To make the effect better, also have to cooperate with exercise and weight management. Weekly recommended. Do at least 5 days of moderate intensity exercise. Walk or jog for 30 minutes every day. Or a weekend bike ride would be nice. Exercise burns excess calories, promote blood circulation, raises good cholesterol, also directly reduces triglyceride levels. Those who keep exercising, their oil is low, usually nicer, it's not going anywhere. In terms of weight, you need to control your waistline. Male waist circumference should not exceed 90 centimeters. Women should not exceed 80 centimeters. Smaller belly, vascular pressure is also reduced. Also remind, if your triglycerides has reached dangerous levels. In addition to adjusting lifestyle habits, you must also follow your doctor's instructions. Taking lipid-lowering drugs. After all, no matter how good health food is, there is no substitute for medication. To take medicine or to take medicine when necessary. Don't hold off just because you're afraid of taking medicine. Make sure the risk is minimized. Is the smartest thing to do. In addition, there are also some small life steps worth mentioning. For example, when eating, you can eat vegetables first and then eat. This will slow down the spike in blood sugar after a meal. Directly reduce the production of triglycerides. For example, don't sit or lie down immediately after a meal. You might as well stand up and take a walk. Helps with digestion and calorie consumption. Don't underestimate these inconspicuous little actions. Long-term persistence is also very helpful for controlling blood lipids. Okay, today we talked about the ins and outs of triglycerides, from what it is, why is it bad to be high, what bad habits can increase it. And the last thing I really want to focus on is his nemesis. So resistant starch, it really comes down to this. Maintain healthy blood lipids. It doesn't need to be earth-shattering. It's just a little change every day. Replace refined white rice noodles with brown rice oats. Eat more vegetables and deep-sea fish. Drink less sugary drinks and alcohol. Exercise more to control weight. Stick to these simple things. Your veins will thank you. Imagine that. After a few years, you will have gray hair, but still in great spirits. When going to the hospital for a physical examination, the doctor was surprised and said, "Oops, your veins are as clean as a young person's. No sign of blockage at all." It's not a myth. As long as we start loving our bodies now. Let triglycerides be honest and maintain normal levels. So hyperlipidemia, hypertension, the 3 highs of high blood sugar will stay away from you. Myocardial infarction and cerebral infarction dare not come to the door. At that time, it will be difficult for you not to live long. As the old saying goes, the disease comes in the mouth. And that's the right thing to say about lipids. Eating right is better than taking medicine. Take action now. Keep your mouth shut and open your legs. Let raw liver oil be honest. Health and longevity are no longer difficult. Trust me to improve a little bit every day. A big step towards good health and longevity. Good luck to everyone. Live to be 100 years old, healthy. Stay away from 3 highs and myocardial infarction.